Hey there, cruise lovers. Get ready for the most incredible ships hitting the seas in the next few years. These ships are going to completely change the game when it comes to cruising. But with so many incredible options, how do you choose? Ever wondered how you can experience brand new game changing ships at an affordable price?
We've done the legwork to help you navigate these exciting waters. Are you ready to dive in? We've got new ships, new destinations, and mind blowing adventures in store for you in this video. One thing you want to wait for towards the end of the video is we're going to show you how you can get on board these brand new ships for the best deals possible with some incredible strategies and hacks. Let's start with Norwegian Cruise Lines. They have a slate of exciting new ships coming out. This first one is the Norwegian Aqua. This is where thrill meets luxury. This ship is debuting in April of 2025. It's got all kinds of exciting developments on board, including their Ocean Boulevard. This is a massive 360-degree outdoor promenade with dining and views. It's got a hybrid roller coaster and water slide, which I'm going to check out of, but the rest of you can have a good time on this. Something called the Glow Court is like an interactive LED sports complex. I think we're there for that.
Sounds really cool.
And then this Infinity Beach, which is ocean edge infinity pools for ultimate relaxation. And look at the incredible design of this ship.
Launching in April 2025 from MSC, we have the World America, the sister ship to World Europa. The future of cruising with sustainability, it's powered by liquefied natural gas, which is very cool. It has 7 distinct districts on this ship. They divided the ship up into 7 distinct districts, from family areas to massive kids zone, harbor outdoor park, and the largest MSC yacht club at sea.
You've got 19 dining venues. This ship has been designed for the first time dedicated for the US market. MSC is exploding right now with new ships, some incredible deals, but these ships haven't always been designed for the market here in the US. That all changes with the MSC World America. And by the way, the Yacht Club experience is one way to get a sweet experience. People love it. And it's pretty much half the price of all the other major cruise lines if you want a suite experience. So if you ever want to make that leap to suites, I think this is one of the ships to consider. Plus, they have this cliffhanger overwater swing. Everybody's heard about the Icon of the Seas. Pretty incredible, but they're not stopping Royal Caribbean at the Icon of the Seas. We have the dazzling new sister, the Star of the Seas. It's getting ready. It's close, folks. August 2025. 20 plus eateries. Look at this crazy ship. The design is amazing. We need to get onto this ship. They're going to have incredible entertainment, including the Back to the Future musical. They've got all types of different districts and areas, a lot like MSC. You've got family areas, you've got adult areas. It's a huge ship with a ton of people. But by the way, everybody who's come off of the Icon class says it never really feels crowded because it's just so large. It is the largest ships at sea. You have something called the Pearl, which is when you walk into the main area. It's got futuristic tech, the Crown's Edge, and it's got this suspended infinity pools. There's no way we have enough time here to cover Icon of the Seas. But again, this is one you want to think about because they have some shorter itineraries. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. How do you get on Icon class for less money? Because it's been crazy expensive since it's come out. But some things have changed in this area. We want to share that with you in just a few minutes.
And here's one we've been waiting for, Virgin Voyages' brand new Brilliant Lady, the 4th ship in their fleet. This one will be starting this year in September 2025 in New York, sailing on the East Coast, then going down to Miami, transiting through the Panama Canal, ending up in LA before heading up to Alaska to begin their inaugural Alaska season.
Yeah, so for Virgin, this is the first time they're doing a Panama Canal. It's the first time opening up the Alaska market, a unique opportunity for those of you who maybe want to sail on Virgin Voyages on their newest ship. We've done the other 3 of the 4. We're actually booked on this one later in 2026. This may be one you want to consider as well. And Virgin does a great job with adults only. And we've done other videos in our channel. We'll link down below on the Virgin Voyages experience, which is truly special.
It's a very premium experience at sea.
So next up is Princess Cruises Star Princess. Now, you may have heard a lot about Sun Princess. That was really like the game changer for Princess. It really has changed everything. It's been out about a year. In a couple days, we're going to be walking on board the Sun Princess. Maybe we'll share some of our thoughts on that ship. We're actually doing a tour before we hop on another ship, the Celebrity Apex, and we'll definitely do some reviews for those of you who are interested in that ship. The Star Princess continues the developments that have been happening from Princess from the Sun Princess. So it's the next in the class. Again, these are all coming soon, right? This is another 2025. This is the biggest ship in Princess history. It's got this amazing glass sphere atrium. We probably should have showed it here, but it's really a pretty incredible design. You got 29-ish places to eat. I don't think you go hungry, and places to drink. It's got some really unique new things for Princess, the Love by Brito, which I think is a designer. Is that right? Artist. Michelin star vibes for you.
Mhm.
They've got an incredible suite experience as well. The Sanctuary Collection. All these ships are really leaning heavily into these suite experiences. So if that's of interest to you, you want a little bit more quiet, you want an elevated experience, you can do it on these mega ships. And what I love about that is you go to the suite, it's amazing, it's private. And when you're ready for the action, you step into the other area. You have great action, then you can go escape back into your suite area.
Coming up in 2026, the newest celebrity Edge class ship. This is the Excel. It'll debut in the spring of 2026, doing routes in Europe. It's got an expanded retreat with two-story villas. Imagine that. Luxe suites and plunge pools.
There's something new that Celebrity has been developing. Each time they introduce a new ship, they tweak it, they improve it, they go by feedback. The Edge, the Apex, the Beyond, the Ascent, and now the Excel. This is an incredible series of ships, but they do things a little bit differently each time, and I think you'll have a great experience. And new for the Excel is the Bazaar, and they're trying to bring where you're stopping on board the ship. And I think they're going to do a lot of this in the Eden space, which is so creative on Celebrity. So it's going to be blending like shoreside culture, really trying to bring that onto the ship with festivals, with food. I think it's going to really neat. They've got some incredibly creative ideas. So this should be on your radar if you want to do the newest of the Edge class. They got some great itineraries as well. Check this one out, this Celebrity Excel. And once again, a little bit later in the video, we're going to show you how to book yourself onto a lot of these ships for some of the better deals that you can find out there. Now, Royal's got this unnamed Icon class mystery ship, but it's not a mystery any longer. Just a couple weeks ago, they announced the official name will be the Legend of the Seas, which, for the first time, Royal is naming a new ship after an old ship of theirs, which is really cool because there's a lot of history in these older ships that used to sail in the Royal fleet. This is the next one in the Icon class. We couldn't resist. We booked ourselves onto this ship, I think, summer 2026. So we're really looking forward to that. It's got all kinds of groundbreaking features. They haven't announced everything yet, but look at Icon of the Seas and Star of the Seas. This is the next one. There'll probably be some tweaks, but it's going to be a very similar experience. Now, we can actually help you with any of these. I've got a link on the screen. If you want to quote or make any recommendations, go to digitalromance.com/cruising. We actually work with a $1 billion cruise agency. That means we've got incredible purchasing power and we can really find you the best deals, but also really, I think, the best match for what you might be looking for. Hey, if that's of interest, you want our personal help. We love cruising. We've done 50 plus. We're more than happy to share that experience with you. Just check it out. Go to the link, fill in some things, and we'll get back to you.
Next, we have the Norwegian Luna, the newest ship in the Aqua class, launching in 2026.
This is the next one in the Aqua class. We shared with you the Aqua class coming out in 2025. So this is it, the next one in the series. Norwegian is taking bookings for this. There are some things that have been announced for Luna. It looks incredible. But if you're looking for 2026 and beyond type of itineraries, this might be one to check out. So if the Aqua looks really cool to you, but you want to think about maybe 2026, check out the Luna. In addition, MSC, we shared with you the World America. They're not stopping. They have the World Asia coming out in 2026 and the World Who Knows in 2027. One unique thing that I actually am intrigued by with MSC is they will place these ships and they will stay in the region. A lot of cruise lines, they do these transatlantics, they reposition, and the ship ends up in multiple regions. When they do World America, it stays in the US. World Asia is probably going to stay in Asia. World Europa, I bet you can figure out where it's staying in Europe. I think you can see there's so much going on right now in new builds. If you want to be on a new ship in 2025, 2026, 2027, this is like the golden era for those of us who get excited about the new ships.
Disney is getting in on the fun as well. They've got two new ships coming up in 2025. The Disney Destiny, which is themed around the heroes and villains theme. It will have unique onboard experiences like a Cruella de Vil piano lounge, Pirates of the Caribbean pub. It will sell out of Fort Lauderdale, and it's doing the shorter itineraries in the Caribbean. Then you have Disney Adventure, which is set to debut in December, and it will be Disney's first ship to home port in Asia. So this one will be based in Singapore, which is a spectacular destination on its own. It'll offer 3 and 4 night cruises with no ports of call, just magical days at sea.
By the way, there's no shortage of new ships coming out for the luxury cruise lines, the premium cruise lines, and that includes Seabourn, Silversea, Regent, and Oceania, like you see here. They have a brand new Vista class ship. This one is the Allura. We sailed recently on the newish Oceania Vista. It was amazing. We did another video on that. We'll put a link down below if you are interested. We're going to do a separate video on all the new ships coming out the next couple of years on the luxury level. I think it deserves a new video because what I want to do now is I want to get to the ways and the strategies that we've come up with where you can sail on these brand new ships and book them for less. So let's jump into some of the strategies. All right, so look, there is a reality. The newest ships are typically the most expensive with the cruise lines, and there's a good reason for that. They've got excitement. Everybody wants to be on board the newer ones. They got all the new features, the crazy new developments. It's exciting. But a lot of the best deals come from ships that are not the newest. I know that's sometimes hard because you want to sail on the new one. You want to make that booking in 25, 26, 27. So we want to share some hacks and strategies to get onto these ships without breaking the bank. There are definitely some ways to do it. I'm not saying they're going to be the least expensive sailings, but we may as well save some money while we do it. So let's get ready. Let's sail a little bit smarter. The first strategy is to book early and adjust later. What a lot of people do when the new ships come out is they wait. And what happens is these ships get booked up and you get way fewer choices on board. You end up maybe being forced to the best balcony cabin in the middle. It's considered like the A1. They're a lot more money than one that's slightly aft or forward, and it can be just as good. And you can save a lot of times 10 to 20%. So my number one strategy for you is do not wait. When you know that a new ship is coming out, book it within the first few days, the first few weeks, if you can. We did that with Legend of the Seas. We had a lot to choose from, and we actually picked a sailing that was less than some of the other ones around it. For whatever reason, the week that we picked over in Europe was less than the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after. Just happened to work out that way, maybe based upon booking patterns. Same experience, same ship, everything, and we were able to save money by doing that. Sometimes what happens is after that initial frenzy, prices could come down. I haven't seen it very often, but don't worry, we can track the pricing. That's something that we do for our clients. We keep tracking the pricing all along before final payment. We have some really cool tech that does that. And if we get a price reduction, we can typically get an adjustment to the price, additional onboard credit. You've got options when that happens. So don't be afraid just to get something booked and something held because it may end up being the best price possible.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. Repositioning cruises offer the best deals at sea. The same is true for some of these brand new ships. They're now starting to also do transatlantics and maybe even a transpacific. If you want to get on a new ship at the best price, you should choose a repositioning cruise.
Yeah, we actually saw Legend of the Seas is doing a transatlantic from Barcelona to Fort Lauderdale. It was the lowest price per night that I've seen on any sailing on this ship, and it may book up quickly. So look into that as soon as you can. If you want a chance at one of these new icon class type of ships from Royal, this might be the type of choice that you want to go for.
They've got a lot of cabins to fill, and that can work to your advantage.
Another thing to look for is if you want to experience one of these brand new ships, you're paying a nightly rate. So if it's 7 nights, 10 nights, and it's $800 a night, it adds up. But if you instead go on one of the new ships that do shorter sailings, 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, that's a way that you can have the same experience, same ship. You got to pack a lot in, you got less time, but why not? You can literally cut your cruise price in half, taking a 3 or 4 day cruise. You still will get the wow factor, you'll still get the full experience. You'll still get a nice couple stops. So this is a great way to cut the price quite a bit. Even if the nightly is not cheap, it's a way to make your overall investment in that cruise a lot lower.
Also, timing is everything. Instead of going at the peak part of summer, consider going in the shoulder season. That's the spring or the fall. This is when the prices will be lower because demand is softer.
It's not unusual to see 10% on the low, up to sometimes 40 to 50%, even on some of the newer ships. One thing is you can see there's a lot of new builds coming out. It is going to get competitive at some point. If you start to combine some of these strategies together, you might find some pretty good deals. It's not going to be the least expensive ships out there. If you want the lowest possible prices, those $100 per night type of things, those are different ships, but there still are definitely some ways to save quite a bit. We've got all kinds of other hacks to save you on your travel, whether it's resorts, all inclusives, hotels, and we make it available for free. There's a link on the screen. You can download some of our best tips and hacks to save you a lot of money no matter how you travel,
Mm.
and QR code will take you there as well. Now, another thing is obsess over price drops and be ready to pounce. There is price tracking websites out there where you can load in your cruise that you booked and it will notify you. By the way, people that book through us, we do this for you, right? And
Mhm.
it's important. We set up price alerts, we get notified, we do all the work, and we let our clients know if that happens. Regardless of whether you use us or not, you should go ahead and take advantage of this because sometimes prices do go down. And if you haven't made final payment yet, you do have some leverage. Now, sometimes if it was non-refundable, the cruise line might have a little more leverage, but they may just charge you a change fee. I just rebooked one of our upcoming sailings. It went down about $700. They did charge me a $200 change fee. I still saved $500,
Yeah.
right? Other times, if you have a refundable deposit, they know you can cancel. They'd much rather adjust the price or give you an onboard credit than have you cancel. Set the alert, it's worth it. Another thing is always look for onboard credit and perks. Even when we're looking into booking people into some of the new ones, there's many times some negotiated rates. There's sometimes special onboard credits, some special perks. Try to wrap some of those in. We sometimes look at sailings, and like I mentioned before, the first week in July might be very high priced. For whatever reason, the second week has some special type of pricing, a deal on dinner for two in a specialty restaurant and a $200 onboard credit. But then week three doesn't offer any of that. If you're a little bit flexible, you'd be surprised how often you can find something that has some special extra perks and onboard credit if you're flexible. And that's why we say use a travel agent. It doesn't have to be us, it can be somebody else, anybody you're comfortable with. You don't pay any more. And I think a lot of times you're going to pay less and you're going to get incredible guidance throughout the entire process. I think you're going to get a lot more out of your experience if you work with a specialized agent.
Another key to finding hidden deals is flexibility. If you can adjust your schedule this way or that way, you can really benefit.
Flexibility can be king, and there are ways to search on the same ships, similar itineraries. You will be surprised how different the pricing can be overall. One thing that's really important, master the total cost game because there's the base fare, but there can be a lot of extras on top of it. We tell people to consider packages you can add on that make it much more all inclusive. If you are somebody who wants to drink alcoholic beverages on board, you want that Wi-Fi, many times the packages are the better way to go because they'll include everything. But I can flip that around as well and say, look, if you don't need all of the extras, then don't. Just make sure you understand the full cost of your cruise so you're not surprised at the end with a big bill. Another really great hack is just go for a guaranteed cabin. If you don't mind rolling the dice a bit, you can save quite a bit by saying, hey, I'll take any balcony cabin. The cruise line will assign it to you usually a few weeks before you're sailing. If you're somebody who doesn't really care if you're midship, in the back, in
Mhm.
the front, what deck you're on, again, I've seen pretty significant savings 10%, 15, 20% on these expensive cruises. That can add up to be a lot.
Sometimes there are obstructed cabins or partially obstructed cabins. So if that matters to you, you might not want to take a gamble. You might want to just book your own cabin. But if you really don't care and you just want to be on the ship at the best price possible, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, and that brings up a great point. An obstructed balcony cabin. If you don't really care, if you're thinking veranda, balcony cabin, a little obstruction, you have the rest of the ship to explore and you'll save quite a bit of money. Sometimes you can book into these larger cabins, and there may be a way where it's like a capacity of eight. When you do the math on it, initially it looks like a crazy price, and you start to split it up over six, eight people. It might surprise you. Is it going to be cheap? No, but certainly there's ways to make it less intimidating when you start to divide that cost up and it
Mhm.
becomes more reasonable. So it's certainly something to look for on these ships because they have a lot of really crazy cabins. They're not even cabins, they're suites, they're two stories, they
Mhm.
have a slide. But it may surprise you if you're with a family that you can bring that cost down by splitting it up a little bit. Another bit of advice we have, we always say this on the channel, is older ships are cheaper, right? Just how it works. But older doesn't have to be 10 years old. Older could just be the last one in that class. So, for instance, when Star of the Sea starts sailing, Icon, we've already seen it, has started to come down in price. It's not as high as it was when it first came out. Sun Princess, when you have the new Star Princess come out, you start to see price adjustments on the one that came before. Look at Celebrity Excel. If you were to look at the original Edge class, Edge or Apex, they're not cheap, but they're way more affordable than the newest versions, the Ascent and the Excel coming out. So you still get pretty much all the same experience, but you can save quite a bit of money.
Cruise lines have loyalty programs to reward their most loyal customers. If you're a frequent cruiser, consider looking into loyalty programs. Frequent cruisers can get discounts and onboard credits through their programs.
Make sure that you go ahead and put that number into your booking. And every loyalty program is different, but you might find that you're going to get free drinks, onboard credit, discounts, 5% off, 10% off. MSC offers 5% off the cruise price. So it depends on the cruise line. When you make this future booking, you'll get rewarded, you'll get more points. If you can stay loyal, it may be really worth your time. Now, one thing you always want to do is plan those onboard activities in advance. Every cruise line is going to hammer you with emails the moment that you book. There's sales after sales. And we find if you go ahead and do that before you board, you can save 10 to 50%. It's worth it. It helps you budget out over time as well. And if you come across a holiday like Black Friday, sometimes the same thing will happen. Those prices will go down, and many times you can get that honored. You can cancel what you paid and take the even better sale and rebook that Wi-Fi at a cheaper price or that specialty restaurant. So remember, all the extra add-ons you can save money on by doing it this way.
One thing we do recommend is that you consider travel insurance for all of your trips because you never know what's around the corner. It will protect you in the case of a health emergency or trip snafus like flight delays or lost luggage. So it's good to have peace of mind when you spend so much on your vacations.
These will be more expensive sailings. When you're putting up some bigger money, this might be some you want to consider. And also consider, we're telling you book in advance, 2026, 2027. Who can predict? So that's why many times it's a good idea to put a policy in place. Just protect yourself. This is an investment in an amazing experience, an incredible vacation. So as you can see, there's all kinds of ways to save money. You can get yourself onto these new and exciting ships. Do us a favor in the comments down below. Let us know, are you booked on any of these exciting new ships? We want to hear it because we want to be excited for you.
Mm.
Are you considering getting booked on any of these ships? Which one is the most exciting for you? What are you looking forward to the most?
We're we're booked on the Legend and we're booked on the Excel. Oh, in fact, we're also booked on the Brilliant Lady, Virgin's new ships. I can't wait to try out these new ships.
Yeah, so with that, you know what? We may see you out there on these new ships. See you.
See you out there.